Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And now at 6, New Haven police continue to investigate a pair of shootings that happened over the weekend, one resulting in the death of an 18-year-old man. Good evening and thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Today, police are giving us more details about both incidents. Fox 61's Jamel Johnson has more from New Haven Police Headquarters.
Police identified that 18-year-old that was shot and killed on Tilton Street early Sunday morning as Javari Smith from Stratford. It happened just 18 minutes after a woman was shot in the foot just a little over a mile away on Crown Street. Police say investigators were able to trace both shooting victims back to the Secrets nightclub bar located on Crown Street. Both victims were apparently at that nightclub before the separate shootings. New Haven Police Chief Carl Jacobson said he isn't sure the two shootings are connected as it's still too early in the investigation to make that link. Currently, the department is analyzing evidence collected from the scene and video surveillance of cars leaving the area.
We do know that there was an after-hours party at Tilton Street that apparently most of the people from Crown Street were going to. And that's where the incident where the party was murdered occurred. And we are working several different leads related to some vehicles that left the area. And also there was shell casings and live ammunition rounds found on that street.
Investigators are urging anyone who has information that could lead to an arrest to call New Haven Police. In New Haven, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.
Father's Day took a violent turn in Hartford. Police say several people were shot on Homestead Avenue. It happened during a gathering at the Caribbean American Society. Fox 61's Alicia Hercules is in Hartford with the latest on that investigation.
Police and a witness describe a chaotic scene on Homestead Avenue as people tried to leave the area when they first heard the gunshots.
People was jumping out the fence, the gate, and running down the street and coming through our yard, running, and it's sickening.
A neighbor who wanted to remain off camera says they were shocked and confused when they first heard the gunshots.
It's sad to wake up and hear gunshots. I thought it was firecrackers. And then when I kept hearing all the different kind of gunshots, I was like, I just laid on my floor.
Sunday night, just before 10:30, police received multiple phone calls and alerts reporting shots fired on Homestead Avenue at the Caribbean American Society.
Discovered a very large crowd, vehicles and pedestrians trying to leave the parking lot. They were able to locate a female in her 20s, suffering from what was described as a non-life-threatening injury.
Lieutenant Aaron Boisvert says 4 other victims went to area hospitals with gunshot wounds. Police believe the shooting happened after an argument between 2 groups at a Father's Day cookout.
2 different groups opened fire at each other, hence the amount of shell casings out there. And the amount of people hit by gunfire.
Police say at least 400 people were at the gathering, including families with young children. Boisvert says it's disturbing to know something like this happened on Father's Day.
It's shocking to say the least. I think we deserve better as a city. I think that neighborhood and people in the city deserve a lot better than that. That is absolutely unacceptable.
The neighbor who heard the commotion says large gatherings happen often on this street. They hope to see police step in to prevent anything like this from happening again.
And they need to clean up the neighborhood because it's not safe. You can't even sit outside in the summer because you got a duck and all of this because of bullets, and it's really sad. It's sad.
Police say plenty of evidence was left behind that they are now looking over as a part of their investigation. Anyone with information is asked to contact the police department. In Hartford, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
Well, another wet weekend's gone, but the clouds will be sticking around at least for the first part of the week.
And Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank is here with the first check of the forecast. Rachel, it's going to be a while before the heat returns too, right?
Yeah, it'll come in baby steps. During the day tomorrow, it's cloudy and we're cooler than average, but the humidity will start to ramp up. And then by Wednesday, we're starting to dial up the warmth. And then Thursday looks hot and humid, and it will be the hottest day of this week. But next week, oh boy, it is really going to feel like summer around here with our first heat wave growing increasingly likely. Here's a look at the satellite and radar, and you'll see some showers to the west of us. Most of those miss us, although I can't rule out a light shower or sprinkle out there tonight. Overnight lows will drop back into the upper 50s to right around 60 as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. And for your planner for tomorrow, again, chance for some fog, some mist, a little bit of drizzle at times, lots of clouds and high temperatures around 70 and there could be a scattered shower as well. We do start to brighten things up by the end of the day on Wednesday. We'll begin Wednesday with some morning showers, and then we dry out and heat up. We'll talk about it. Your full forecast is coming up.
Meriden Police and the New Haven State's Attorney are now offering a $50,000 reward that leads to the arrest and conviction of the person who shot and killed a man. Officers responded to Allen Avenue in August of 2019. When they arrived, they found Francisco Huertas shot in the front yard of a home. Huertas died. Meriden Police say they're looking into new leads, and they hope the new reward amount will encourage people to come forward.
The Inspector General's office says a state trooper was, in fact, justified in shooting a Bolton man who they say was armed with 2 knives. Last March, 29-year-old Maxim Nowak's father called 911 to report his son was having a mental health crisis. And when state police got to the home, they say Nowak held 2 knives, one of them in a defensive position. Troopers asked Nowak to drop the knives multiple times for several minutes. Eventually, Nowak twirled one of those knives, and that's when Trooper Brian Contenta fired 7 shots at him. Nowak was hit in the hand and the abdomen. He survived, though, and has since recovered. Hartford police are investigating a deadly crash. They say 64-year-old Trevor Grant was a passenger in a Dodge Dakota pickup truck that hit a parked Subaru out back and rolled over. It happened near Garden Street and Asylum Avenue just after 11 a.m. Police say the driver of the Dakota was alert when police got there, but Grant wasn't responsive. Both were taken to a hospital and Grant died there.
An update tonight on a pedestrian who was struck by a hit-and-run driver in West Hartford. Police say he has died. On June 7th, police found John Marczak of Plainville unresponsive on South Main Street around 2 in the morning. The driver took off. Marczak died last Tuesday, and tonight investigators are still looking for the person who hit him. A Plymouth man's been charged with DUI for a serious crash overnight in Bristol. Police say Ronald Maxon was driving on Lake Avenue around 1:45 in the morning when he crashed into a wooded area and hit a building near Terry Commons. He had 2 other people in the car with him. Both of them were taken to the hospital. We're told one needed surgery. Maxon faced a judge today on motor vehicle assault charges.
And we've learned a woman from Windsor was killed overseas Wednesday, hit by a car in a hotel parking lot. Allison Eigner was in Northern Ireland when another American tourist named Kathy Stewart slammed into her with a car. Eigner died at the hospital there. Now, police say both were staying at the Causeway Hotel. Stewart told police she lost control of her car. She has been charged with careless driving. Eigner was a mother of 2. Friends of the family have set up a GoFundMe to help her family cover funeral expenses. We have more information on fox61.com. Well, Ansonia police have arrested a second person for participating in the April 26th street takeover there. 22-year-old Madison Braska of Massachusetts faces rioting and risk of injury charges. She appeared in court last Friday. Officers also arrested a 17-year-old earlier this month, and they say they are searching for more people. Around 12:30 in the morning on April 26th, police found dozens of people driving erratically and spilling out on Wakely Avenue and Franklin Street. One person smashed an officer's cruiser windshield with a traffic cone.
Naugatuck police are looking for the person who wrote an anti-Semitic message into freshly poured concrete. This happened last Tuesday on Rubber Avenue around 5 in the afternoon. That person may not have known it at the time, but they were caught on surveillance video. That's what you're looking at right now. Police say it will cost $2,500 to redo the whole sidewalk. If you recognize this person or have any information, contact Naugatuck Police. Update now on the Commodore Hull Bridge construction between Shelton and Derby. The emergency work has advanced to the next phase, and here's what you need to know. Starting tonight, only one travel lane on the bridge in each direction will be open to traffic. A 32-ton weight restriction is still in effect. However, access to Route 8 from Derby and the Main Street ramp and from Shelton and the Neen Street ramp have been reopened.
The first phase of the cleaning and lining of Meriden's water mains will start next month, starting July 7th, ending on August 31st. The water mains on Pearl, North Pearl, and Clinton Street will undergo repairs. All customers on these streets will be connected to an above-ground temporary water system for the duration. City officials say they will need access to an outside working spigot to connect that temporary water line. There may be some discoloration and reduced pressure at the start of the project, they say. If you have any problems, problems, you should call the Water Division at the number on your screen.
The city of Bridgeport will knock down a blighted and fire-damaged building this week. The building is on Center Street, across the street from St. Raphael Academy. The demolition will cost $125,000. The property has been vacant and abandoned for years now. The city says they hope to sell it for development and improve the quality of life there for the neighbors. Bridgeport leaders also say they're working toward redeveloping 5 other properties.
Hamden Police and Animal Control are looking for whoever abandoned 2 dogs last week, and we have a warning now before we share these pictures of the dogs. It's disturbing. Officials say these 2 dogs, a male and a female, were found at the corner of Mount Carmel Avenue and Chestnut Lane last Thursday. Animal Control named them Duke and Daisy. We're told they were most likely dumped because they were no longer good for breeding. Daisy is emaciated, Duke is weak and thin. Please contact Hamden Animal Control if you know anything about what happened.
2 West Haven police officers are expected to be okay after a man injured them during an arrest last night. 18-year-old Isaiah Burrows of New Haven apparently texted a woman around 8 p.m. saying he was going to shoot and kill her at her home on Coleman Street. And we're told she has a restraining order against him. Police say they stopped Burrows before he could get there. Burrows reportedly injured them during the arrest. He has 5 active felony warrants against him for other domestic violence cases, and police say he's currently behind bars and he has been charged. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, there are resources out there to help. The Connecticut and National Safety Hotline, they're both available 24/7.
Well, State Attorney General William Tong says Connecticut will get $64 million over the next 8 years as part of a nationwide settlement with Purdue Pharma over the opioid crisis. As part of that settlement, Purdue's owners, the Sackler family, agreed to pay a total of $7.4 billion and agreed to relinquish control over Purdue Pharma and its ability to sell opioids in the U.S. Now, Tong says the $7.4 billion is $1.4 billion more than the Sacklers agreed to in a previous deal that was rejected by the Supreme Court. And he said it's over $3 billion more than the initial settlement offer that Connecticut rejected back in 2021.